iron in the soul.
What's up, YouTube? This is your big brother King Jabez, back today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. Also, in addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at the King Jabez, as well as my website, theironsoul.com. Whatever you decide to do, it will be greatly appreciated. So I want to talk about a very important message today. You are a chosen one, and this makes you a spiritual alchemist. What do I mean by that? The basic foundational teaching of alchemy is taking base level metal and transforming it into gold. This is a deep teaching, and you as a spiritual person, you are able, with the help of the Most High, to take pain, suffering, affliction, difficult people. Think about the messages I've taught over the last 11 months to a year. They thought they had you in a trap. You escaped. You are the chosen one. You are an attractive outcast. All of these messages lead up to today's word. And all of that process over the last 5-10 years has made you who you are today. So as I dive into today's message, I'm going to say what you're not as well. You're not someone who practices magic. You're not a magician. You're not a charlatan who is using spirituality as a way to increase your wealth. You are not someone who's tapped into the demonic occult or mystic that uses satanic or demonic practices to do what you need to do to go forward. It's much deeper than all of that. You are someone who, if this is for you, you are in tune with the Most High God. You have divine wisdom. You are a person who spends time in meditation. You think deeper than most of the population. Your path has been difficult because your influence will be the greatest. So I'm talking to people today who are going to do something. You are someone who has become, through this process, a spiritual alchemist. You understand that the brain is the main instrument for manifestation. So you escape the dualistic reality of the past and the future, and you're able to tap into the present. Very important. When you can tap into a present, you can manifest your reality through your thoughts. Let's take you to the book for a second for those who didn't like that. This is what the good book says. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Think and grow rich. Not always how much you can work. You can work for 10, 15 hours a day for years and still not be able to manifest. So we're not against hard work. I'm all about, the 3Ds, desire, determination, dedication, what I have taught consistently for the last year. But what we're talking about today is that even with all of that, the key is to tap into the mind. That is the secret. And it's something I'm learning more and more on a deeper level each day. Now, some of you struggle to receive my messages because it's not what you're used to. And so you're not understanding, you're not used to it. So the tendency for a judgmental person is to call it something demonic. Even though I pray every day to the Most High God, in the spirit, by the way, 6 years today. But what you see and hear is someone who is unfamiliar. So you judge and you diminish the wisdom that God's given me. And that's something that I will no longer let bother me. I'm not going to apologize for having the courage to go from ignorance to competence. You see, many so-called Christ followers are ignorant. Yeah, we're going to talk today. And this is what I mean by that. Did you know that your favorite characters, Daniel, Joseph, Esther, the Apostle Paul, they didn't just study the Torah or the New Testament. They were well versed in astrology. They were well versed in spiritual work, energy work. This was taught in the ancient school, the school of the prophets. They were taught all of this. Numerology. They were taught about the chakra system. This is a teaching, or many teachings, that have been lost in the West. And since they have been lost in the West, the small mind automatically calls it demonic. So what you have is, I'm going to be clear today, you have what I'm going to refer to today is that's demonic spirit. Here's what I mean by that. Whenever you come across something that you don't know, you automatically say that's demonic versus being humble enough to go study for an hour or two, or maybe 3 or 4, research and understand, there's a reason why Daniel understood all of these things. Go read the first few chapters of Daniel for all you scholars. Daniel was well versed in all of the above. Yes, he prayed to the Most High God. Yes, he was very strong. He fasted, he prayed, he was celibate. He understood the importance of sexual alchemy, for those who understand from that perspective. But he also understood how important it was to be versed in the culture he lived in. Joseph was so versed in the culture he lived in that his Hebrew brothers thought he was an Egyptian. What you people today will call him is somebody who's carnal. That's what you say today when you find someone who's smart enough to honor God and also be well versed in today's culture. So, I'll be the first to say, I don't know everything. This is what it means to me to be a spiritual alchemist. You're someone who is seeking truth. And this is what led many people to become philosophers. They had such a desire to understand why everything works the way it works, that they will sometimes put aside the natural desire for a man or woman to seek truth. And the accumulation of knowledge, wealth, became more important to them than, what? And the purpose, I'm not using the words for the algorithm. I'm not afraid to use that word, obviously, but you get my point. People who think deeper, chosen ones, attractive outcasts, spiritual alchemists in today's video. Those who are, and here's what I mean by that. A person who takes, an alchemist took basic metal, turned to gold. A spiritual alchemist is a man or woman who takes the basic experiences they had in life, pain, suffering, afflictions, time, seasons, school, all your life, and you transform it into something that is spiritual gold, that is pure, bright, and attractive. You are someone who gets a rush when you are able to go from ignorance to competence. That's how I am, and I'm sure I'm speaking to my crowd too who follows me. You're the same way. You like to learn something new, the truth. You see, the truth is multifaceted, just like a diamond. And, there's a lot I don't know. I'll be the first to say that. That's why I'm learning, I'm studying. I want to know more. I'm not going to say that something is demonic because I don't understand it. Now, if it is demonic, then I will call it that. If once I have studied, done my due diligence, and it becomes clear to me that this source of this information is from Lucifer and demons, then we have a problem. And if you look at my teaching very clearly, in particular the Humiliation Ritual series of 11, 12 videos, not one of those videos have I ever suggested, make this clear today because some of you misunderstanding me, I have never suggested to use witchcraft, magic, the occult, voodoo, or any of those means to accumulate wealth, to gain an access to the Most High, which doesn't work anyway. I believe in the tools that work: prayer, meditation, fasting, purity, hard work, diligence. This is what it means to me to be a righteous man or a righteous woman. So let's talk about just some different aspects of this message. Let's talk about symbolism. Symbols are very important. And what I'm learning more and more each day is that the Most High is consistently putting out symbols, warnings, pictures, messages, downloads for us on a daily basis. This is why many of you are seeing number sequences, which are referred to in today's culture as angel numbers. They might not have been called that 2,000 years ago, but nevertheless, numerology, the accumulation of numbers, whether it be 444, 222, 101, whatever it is you're seeing, this has always been a form of communication from the Most High to man. And because life is so difficult, we need many sources of knowledge. So numbers are a source. I'm going to break it down today. What does it mean to be a spiritual alchemist? You understand that the messages are multifaceted. Numbers, colors, color purple, which is a color of royalty, white, a symbol of purity, perfection. The angels are referred to as young men who appear bright with all white on. And this speaks of the power they have, the strength, the tenderness, as well as being tough. And these are two attributes of the divine masculine for those who want to hear from that perspective. The divine masculine is both tender and tough. If you want to be a man, you have to be tender enough to love a woman and children, and you have to be tough enough to deal with the adversity that comes with bills, accumulating wealth, facing challenges at work. And so angels are the same way. They are both tender. They showed up with messages and helped and showed up with love and warnings. And they were also tough. When they came to execute judgment, there was no turning back from that. So we have symbols through colors, through numbers. Same was seen in alchemy. There was a symbol for the suns and different planets such as Jupiter, Mercury. And so in the context of this message, You have to write down the messages you're getting each day. When you're getting signs through numbers, colors, dreams, all these codes and downloads, you have to accumulate that. And when you get all the messages, you will have direction. So direction won't come from just numbers. It won't come from just a message like this. It'll come multifaceted. And when you accumulate that, and this is why it's so important to meditate. This is why it's so important to pray, because in your prayer closet, in your time of meditation and reflection, keeping a journal of thinking, holding on to your creative energy, right? This is for men and women, harnessing that energy. You see, and here's why I'm back on that, because some of you didn't like that message, but I'm going to say it again. If you can't hold on to your energy, it is impossible to get out of your root chakra or out of your base level. This is why the head is referred to as the head. This is a picture of heaven. The lower nature is a picture of hell, unalive. Okay, let's go a little deeper. And when you, in particular as a man, hold on to or steward the creative energy that the Most High has given you, which is why it's referred to as seed, by the way. When you hold on to that, what happens is it essentially travels up the 33 vertebrae, which is a picture of the 33 years of the Messiah. Right? All these pictures, signs, we're going deep today. Okay? Travels up 33 vertebrae up to the crown. Right? This nourishes the brain, or the holies of holies. Okay? And when that happens, the pineal gland, you increase your creativity, your knowledge, your wealth, your influence. Women want to be around you. Women don't want to be around a man who doesn't have energy. This is why they are attracted to charismatic men. Charismatic men have energy. They have creativity, which attracts influence, wealth, people. This is what everyone wants. And when you go through this process as a man, you get out of that lower nature and it goes up to your head, or another picture of heaven. Right? Think about the four rivers in the Garden of Eden. Think about for a second the four rivers in the Garden of Eden. We're going to go a little deeper there. We're going to really break this down. The four rivers in the Garden of Eden are also in alignment with the four sacred fluids that come from the man. And those four sacred fluids are blood, urine, your seed, as well as saliva. All those are utilized for different purposes, and these were given to us at our creation along with our energy centers. And when that is in alignment, this is what it means to be a spiritual alchemist. You are a man, you are a woman who is in alignment with the divine masculine for men and the divine feminine for the women. This will increase your thought power. This will give you wisdom. You will have ideas. You will be sensitive enough to the spirit world and receive dreams and downloads. Some of you say, okay, I can't remember my dreams. And if you can, you have to begin to question what's happening with your spirit. It's not a judgment. This is just a question. And you want to get to a place where you're now in tune. In other words, you want to be sensitive to all of the messages that are coming your way. Dreams, visions, numbers, messages from people like myself and others. Your time in fasting, getting control over yourself. See, it all starts there. You have to, if you can't control yourself, then the distractions come, and distractions keep you from receiving the messages. And when you miss the message, you can't go forward. Let's go back to the beginning of this message. Let's break it down. The brain. This is the main instrument for what? Manifesting. Everyone wants to manifest. Everyone wants to go forward. And nothing wrong with that, by the way. The key to manifesting, and this became so clear to me the more, by the way, I spent a few hours studying this for this message on yesterday. So I studied this, I reflected on it. I've been thinking about how to present this to my audience, and I hope you receive this. Hope you get something from this. Leave a comment. But as I thought about this more and more, it became so clear to me, this is the secret. This is it. I'm trying to tell you, this is it. Getting control over this, my boy, sis. You have to control this here, your mind. This is how you manifest. This is how you reflect. This is how you receive thoughts from the Most High God. This is how you influence other people. Everything starts here. And this is why right now there is such an attack against our attention. There are so many distractions placed on this divine chessboard. And it's up to you and I to remove the distractions, to zero in and focus on the present, and we'll receive a message. Let me just talk to you now. I gave you all the knowledge. Let me just talk to you now. This is why so many of you, your path is so lonely. Because when you begin to even try to explain any of this to most people, they're not ready for it. And that's okay. This is why we use words like conscious. Everyone is not conscious. Everyone doesn't think at a higher level. Everyone is not there yet. And we understand it because there was a time in life when we were not there. And maybe you hear this message, say, big bro, and I'm still not there yet. And that's okay too. Get there. And you get there one day at a time. You won't, again, the best time to plant a tree would have been 20 years ago, right? The second best time to plant a tree is right now today. So May 20th, 2024, plant that tree. Make it, if you're right now saying, big bro, I'm not understanding any of this, I'm not there yet, make a decision, my boy, sis, right now today, that I will think deeper than the average person. And I know some of you that frightens you to even say that. Don't be afraid of that. I want to really understand the truth. Why am I on this earth? Okay, these are the questions that philosophers have wrestled with for centuries. 3 questions in particular. I'm going to stop. Sometimes I got to be honest. Sometimes I kind of dumb down my knowledge. I'm going to just be honest with you. Brother Aaron's a smart guy. I sometimes dumb it down to attract more people, to be honest with you. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I've been hurting myself all this time. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Because some of y'all been kind of commenting. I've been reading the comments too. Big bro, you holding back the knowledge, man. Give it to us. Okay, you asked for this. Okay, you asked for it, so I'm going to give it to you now. You know what I mean? I've been kind of holding back. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of not trying to give you too much. But I'm feeling this invisible push now to go ahead and go forward with this. And I hope that you receive this. But here's my point saying that. 3 questions that philosophers always want to know. Where did I come from, right? Why am I here? And where am I going? And if you listen to this message, you probably have asked one of 3 of those questions, if not all 3, at some point in your life. Where did I really come from? And that's a question, I got to be honest, even your big brothers asked myself over the last 4 or 5 years. I really have been on this path of, I wouldn't say enlightenment, that's part of it, but in this context of this statement, discovery. What are my true origins? What tribe did I come from in Africa? I mean, these are questions that you should ask. And not just African, if you're from Spain, if you are German, if you are Indian, it doesn't matter who you are. Who am I? What is my true history? And the culture, language, all of that is so important. And why am I here? What is my true purpose for being on this earth? And if you're chosen, you have a purpose, and in part of this, you are a spiritual alchemist. You are someone who takes nothing and you make it something. Some of you are going to do this by becoming a pro athlete. Let me bring it home now. Let me go ahead and tie this together. Some of you are going to do this by becoming the first actor in your family. Some of you are going to do this by starting that business. Some of you are going to write that book. I know some of you want to write that book. Go ahead and write it. You got that song. You have that business idea. You have a ministry you want to launch that has not been launched yet. Go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? You've been chosen for that reason and for that purpose. And there's no peace until you get there. And Kobe Bryant, I saw a reel over on Instagram just a few days ago. He said it perfectly. When you can get up in the morning and say, I want to do this and feel good about it, you found your why. And that's how it has to be. When there's something that you dread, that's not it, sis. That's not it, my boy. But when you can get up and do something every day and you love it, you have found your purpose being on the earth. And that's so important. And even though you may not know all of the details of your purpose, you want to have the general idea. Let me put that out there. You may not have all of the details, but you want to have the general direction of where you're supposed to go. That's so important. So I had the general direction for my life at age 25. I did not have the details. Even now, some of the details still unknown to me, to be honest. The details come year by year, day by day. In other words, God's not going to tell you everything. He never has, never will. He'll give you the vision, but he'll tell you how you can get there. That's all. That's why I got to live by faith, by the way, you see. And so as we're on this journey, at least having a general idea of what my purpose is, that's huge. And so I want to really stress to you, especially my younger audience, to really understand that. What is my general direction? Where am I trying to go? And once you kind of discover that, your passion, what you like to do, that could be helpful in your process. So I'd like to end this message with just a word of encouragement, chosen one. Embrace the fact that you are different in a good way. You're not like everybody else. You never have been, you never will be. Embrace the fact that you will never fit in. That you are meant to be, and this is not just to be cliche, I mean in a genuine sense, a trendsetter. You're meant to not just for fashion or something like that, but you are meant to help create culture. Some of you are meant for that. Everyone can't lead. Okay, it's okay for some to be followers, but you're not that. You're supposed to lead the pack. And whatever that may be. Some of us are leaders, some of us are followers. And for those who are followers, that's fine. Nothing against you, by the way, if you hear this message. But for those of you who are meant to get out there, get out there. And I'm a leader. I've been one for years. I can tell you about leadership, what I know. It's uncomfortable. Okay, when you're in front of people, brace yourself for a lot of criticism. Brace yourself for being misunderstood. But at the same time, brace yourself for a lot of support. It's a good side of leadership. A lot of people love you. A lot of people, they're there with you. They're leaning on you for direction and guidance. So there are pros and cons, obviously, to being out here. So if you're chosen to do this, embrace that. Be the best you that you can be. Don't try to be anybody else. Big Brother Iron, I'm not trying to be nobody besides myself. You know what I mean? Be yourself. And when you do that, you are giving the world the gift of you. Real talk. That's your gift to the earth is you. I mean, let's think about this logically. Well, how many people on the earth? Billions? Let's use common sense. You think God wants us all to be the same? It's just common sense. We got to be ourselves. So your gold, what distinguishes you is your individuality. And this is why I'm against, now we're going a little deeper now, because you all asked for this, so I'm going to give it to you. I don't ask me to start crying. You asked for it, I'm going to give it to you. Okay? I'm thinking deep on you. I'm got all these notes. I got hundreds of pages of notes. You're getting this work now. You shouldn't ask for it. Start this with me. So, let's talk about religion for a second. This is why I struggle with many aspects of organized religion. What happens with many of them, and not all, never all, if anything, but with many of them, is that it becomes legalistic and it robs you of your individuality. Thinking for yourself, being a free thinker, is not celebrated in a lot of circles. So if you find yourself somewhere where you can't think for yourself, I've been there too. And when you do that, you're criticized, leave. This is why I left some churches. This is why I left a lot of organizations. It became clear to me that I can't be me. I had to fit into this cookie cutter mold, do things the way you do things, dress like you, have my hair cut like you, act like you to be accepted. And if I have to cut my hair like you, I'm being honest now, and think like you, and borderline talk like you to be accepted, this is now a form of slavery. And I want out of this. I'm a free spirit. I cannot be bound. And if you're a chosen one, you are a free spirit. You're not meant to just follow the crowd. You're not just a robot out here doing what everyone else does. And that's something that's a good thing. And if you can do that, that's a beautiful thing if you're strong enough to really embrace that. So I hope that today's message has been helpful to you. I hope this word has spoken to your spirit and given you the strength you need to go forward and be that person. That's all I have for you today. This is Big Brother Iron the Soul, King Jabez. Thanks for listening. God bless. Peace.